It's going.
Huh?
It's going. It's recording.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Is the mic on?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I checked.
We haven't used it in a while, so.
It's working.
So you guys might recall last year I did a video where I installed some MCA coilovers and some control arms and stuff in this car. Well, we've since stepped it up because we're getting better. We spent oh my God. Look at all the rubber that came off my tire at the track.
Oh my gosh.
That, you know, I heard it was a soft compound, but holy hell.
You made spaghetti.
Wow. Proof in the pudding, I've been driving the car a bit harder. So it's time for a better than street performance suspension, which is exactly what we're putting in. Now we're sticking with MCA, it's just we're going with a little bit stiffer spring, a little bit different valving, specifically for this car, specifically for the setup, specifically for the rubber that I am using. We're also gonna be doing some SPL upper control arms on the front, because one of the problems I have is I don't have enough camber in the front on this car, so I'm getting a lot of rollover. And although my TE37s is not what I track on gram lights, I was getting too much rollover because I'm running a 275 up front on a 40 series tire and an 18-inch wheel, not the 1935 like I have right here. So we were getting a lot of camber wear on the outside on the track. So we need to fix that. Here's the stock control arm. Here. We have to either cut or shorten this bolt right here, find a shorter bolt. This is the power steering reservoir mount. This will impact with the new control arm if I don't. Gotta remove the brake line from the shock right here. Gotta remove the shock. There's also the ABS lines on this side right here. But these just push in, right? So these will just pop right off. I have to undo the 3 bolts up on top of the shock mount. Undo the lower mount. And yeah, I mean, the shocks come out really, really easy. It's gonna be, ow, hurting your hand. Once I take the shock out, then I'm gonna have to undo this bolt right here, because this is where the ball joint for the upper mount connects to the control arm right here, or this arm, spindle arm. And then I've got to do that bolt and this bolt. These guys have never been taken off before. So I think they're gonna be tight. But fortunately, once the shock is out, I have lots of room and leverage to get my breaker bar in here. You know what they say, work smarter, not harder.
What about working quieter?
I did start to try and do it by hand because my daughter's sleeping. No. The thing that sucks about the Z34 though is the lower shock bolt and the sway bar bolt are one. It's one piece. So that's why on this side, I had to have this open-ended wrench in here to keep it from turning. But now getting this out can sometimes be a pain in the ass because when the suspension's drooping all the way, the sway bar is under a bit of a load. So getting this out is sometimes a pain in the butt, but that's why we also have mallets and things. So yeah, that's gonna be a bit of a pain in the ass to get it all the way out, because you can see it puts a lot of stress right here on the sway bar end link. Ow, I just hit my finger against the caliper.
Where are those impact gloves I got you?
I like to be able to feel my nuts, okay? To get to the top shock mount, you have to remove the strut tower bar. So these 3 bolts right here normally would hold the entire weight of the suspension assembly when it's in droop. But what I did was I put a jack underneath the control arm and jacked it up a little bit to push against the spring. That way it's not all just hanging down. That way when I undo these now, I'm not gonna be putting extra stress on these threads as it's unthreading, because you don't wanna do that. Shade tree, backyard mechanitry. That's not getting anything up now, is it? So the whole assembly can't come down far enough because this bolt and the sway bar is still supporting it. So I really want to get the sway bar bolt free entirely. Can't get that bolt out enough to get the shocks out. I smashed my finger, it's bleeding under there. Nick is all like, ew, blood. So, and then I have the back of the car jacked up, so I can't get my drill under here to take off the bottom plate, because I'm gonna remove the skid pan, and I'm gonna just remove the sway bar because it's easy to remove. And then once the sway bar is out, then the end links will come out no problem. It's just, I didn't have to do this last time. I'm going to strike the term, it'll be pretty easy, from my dictionary.
Oh, you're kind of waiting for that.
What?
I thought it was gonna fall on your face.
And just like that. I wish I'd get this guy out of here because now the spring and everything went like it's stretched out because it's not under any load anymore. There we go. Got it. Yay. Yeah, so the idea here is I have a technique I like to do to try and match all these links up because I need it to at least be good enough to drive to the alignment shop.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we do need to obviously adjust camber and stuff. So we got support under this, right? I just want to find right where it takes the weight, like that. Then it's easier to move this. This is caster adjustment. If you guys have ever wondered, now that you can see camber, this guy moves in and out for camber adjustment. If this moves forward and back, that's caster adjustment. Literally the only thing holding this thing together now is the lower ball joint. Oh, that's actually not that tight. All right, these are definitely lighter than the SPL. This is one of those times where SPL is, you gave me the wrong arm. There's a left and a right.
Oh,
I need the other one. See, that's why we have to cut that bolt, because as you can see, that bolt, you can't see because of the light. You can see that bolt will impact on the arm. And that's how you make sure we're at work of it. So here's a stock arm and its sloppy rubber bushings, which are all about quiet and comfort and all of that. There's nothing quiet and comfortable about this car anymore. So another piece of shit out of the car. These are SPL spherical bushings. These are solid. There is no play in them whatsoever. Basically, they're a bearing. It's like a bearing bushing. And you got these inserts that go in there, like so. And only lighter, so we had a little extra weight gain here with this. Story of my life. But you can see right now, like if I mounted it exactly as it is, I'd probably be at like -5 camber. So I think I'm gonna lengthen this out a little bit. So adjusting camber on this is pretty simple. You gotta loosen up these nuts. These nuts, you gotta loosen these guys up because these are locking down the adjustable collar, or not collar, but the adjustable threading. Because trust me, you don't want this coming loose on you while you're driving. So there's actually 3 points it locks. Here, here, and then there's a collar to keep this from turning. Because remember, it's like sleeved and it goes in and out like equally. So it's not just sliding along the rail, this part also moves in and out. But most of the adjustment's done right here with this main beefy piece. So what I'm gonna do is I gotta loosen up all the collars. That way we can actually turn it. And then we take a 12mm wrench and we can adjust it that way. And it looks like that's also how the camber is gonna be, or the caster is gonna be adjusted. So I wanna make sure I count the threads and keep it the same on both sides. Because since I just did one side right now, you can see this part pivoted over. Watch when I tighten it back up. See the way it pivots? So if you only adjust one side, that's how you get your caster. Figured I might as well put the shock back in here while I've got the spindle arm and all that disconnected, because then it makes it a lot easier to get this guy up in there.
A few hours later.
Yes, we've been at this for at least 3.5 hours, almost about 4 hours, I guess. We got one corner done. But we fixed one bolt that was semi-stripped. We fixed it. We got the arms installed, arms adjusted, both shocks adjusted to our baseline. Hopefully the other side will go faster.
Keywords, hopefully.
Okay, so we're gonna see how long it's gonna take me to do this corner now that we've got all the prep work done. Yeah. So anyway, start the stopwatch. Or whatever. Stopwatch? Yeah? Is that what it's called?
Stopwatch.
Stopwatch. Okay.
It's going.
Whatever. All right. You need to tell me how far in are we?
Well, we are at 23 minutes and 53 seconds in.
Well, would you look at that?
That's
and the shock is in, the lower bolt is in. It's not torqued down, nothing's torqued yet, but everything's in place. It's way better than I could say for the other side.
Very true.
But the other side, like I said, we had a lot of things we had to kind of like overcome. And overcoming them on the other side meant we overcame them on this side. So we didn't have to deal with this stubborn, the other side, the control arm bolt up here, or the control arm stud didn't want to go in to the top of the spindle arm. No matter how much I tried to spread it apart, like a butt crack. I ended up getting it eventually though. That sucked. But anyway, everything's in right now. Everything's in on this side. Would you look at that? Sway bar still hanging down here though.
I was about to say that.
Sway bar still swinging. The other side still has to be torqued too.
The sway bar is swaying, so it's doing its job.
The sway bar is swaying. That's what sway bars do, they sway.
Yeah.
All right, time to tighten it all up and then move to the rear. The rear, God.
Better be faster than
The rear is 3 volts.
25 minutes.
The rear is 3 volts.
Okay. Better be faster than 25 minutes.
Right? Anyway, I'm gonna torque this all down, and then we'll go to the back of the car and we'll see what's up.
So you just installed the sway bar, which puts them at 3526.
I think I'm just laying here now because I'm dying.
Well, the rear should be a lot easier. In fact, the rear is kind of a lot of work for a 1,000 kilogram. I will tell you there's only a 1,000 kilogram difference between these springs and these springs, but the valving is a little bit different. But there's only 3 bolts to get this off. 2 at the top, you can see, ow, that hurt, right there. And then 1 right here,
Where's the last one?
down here. The shock, the
Oh.
base.
And begin.
Okay. Yes, I just held that with my hand.
Show off.
But now I can basically tell you about the rear. They're in the back of the car.
Hey. I don't know if that was a roast or...
And there they are.
I have it at home.
There, I can put it like that.
Oh god. Here we go. Call down when you're ready.
Well, we're almost done tightening this bolt. With the usual torque specs of Guten tight, German specs on a JDM car. Remember I was telling you I'm done.
13 minutes, 30 seconds.
Not bad. Remember I was telling you on the front, on those control arms, how they were real stiff?
Mm-hmm.
The hind joints, the spherical bushings, they wear in over time. See that? See how easy that is to rotate?
Yeah.
Because it's spherical there as well. So, yeah, it just takes time for those to get in there. So we'll do the other side, and then we'll let it down, and we'll see how it sits. They say that these shocks and springs don't have to settle. I mean, so that's pretty much it. There's nothing left to really do except drop her down, see where it sits, drive around the block, see where it settles. Because again, I still think suspension settles, but whatever. And then make some adjustments to the coilovers. So with that said, we'll do all that, we'll come back, and then we'll end this video. So this is where it sat. The rear has like this massive gap, and the front is like massively tucked.
Yeah.
It doesn't look that bad on camera. Trust me, it's way too low, especially for track. So yeah, we are going to bring the back down about 1 inch and the front up about 1 inch. Right now it's got that muscle car, like 70s muscle car rake going on. Okay, so we actually raised the front versus where it was before we changed the suspension, but definitely raised it a lot from where it was when we first put it on, as you can see. I know some of you guys are like, hella flush, blah, blah, blah. No, that's not what we're about here. This is about clearance and proper alignment and stuff set up for the track. Because I'm running a 275 square setup for track, a little bit extra height will help clear. We're also to get the camber adjusted now because it's higher. The camber is less apparent now. There is a specific track camber that I run, but I gotta get that all taken care of now. Through someone else that can handle that. And then the rear, we brought the rear down like I said we were gonna do. So that's where it sits. I think it looks pretty good on my one of a kind TE37s. So guys, we're gonna go. This took all day, way longer than I wanted it to. I have beat the shit out of myself. Pretty sure I damaged this knuckle, like the bone, I smashed the shit out of that. Sacrifice to the car gods, right? All right, see you in the next one. Nick, any final thoughts?
Not really. I'm really blank right now.
I can tell. If only they could see your face right now.
Oh my god. It's blank, dude. What do you want me to tell you?